wondering what would that be. So let me just now check if it is now fine. I hope I am connected to all of you. You can just check it once over there. Right. So, yes, am I live? I am live, but am I live on YouTube? That's what's my question. So, I'm just so keen and excited to have the discussion of the entire subject of audit with you. So, I hope that all the technical challenges have now been taken care of and we are all good to go. Yes, a very good morning to all of you and a warm welcome to the CA Final Advanced Auditing Assurance and Professional Ethics batch. Right, my sincere apologies at the onset for the technical glitches which we had to face through in the beginning of the class. Probably I tried with a different encryption software this time. So IT is always, something which is goes out of control without any exception reasons or so. Right, so if you could just put a message for me on the chat box conveying to me that yes, you are connected and you are able to listen to me, so that I can start with my interaction of the class with all of you and give you an outline regarding the new syllabus, the new material, and the flow and how we are going to go about our classes. Okay. Right, so please, if you could let me know if you are all connected and able to hear me. Even if a few of the students let me know, that's a good green signal, for me to yes, start my discussion over there. Okay. Right, so all good, everyone? Right, I hope, yes, I think in case if you've restarted the app or something like that, then in that case you need to, switch off the app or the chat box and then start it again or like that. Okay, right. So the name of the subject is now Advanced Auditing Assurance and Professional Ethics, right? So earlier in the old syllabus, so it was like Advanced Auditing and Professional Ethics. Now they have made the subject as Advanced Auditing Assurance and the Professional Ethics, right? I'm trying to give you an outline of the syllabus regarding the chapters and all, and then we proceed further with our discussion. Okay, right? Every day the class timings, today I considered that we have been delayed for our class to begin with, but every day we start at sharp 9 o'clock. We have our first session up to 11:15, 9 to 11:15, then a 10 to 15 minutes break, and then after that we have the class from 11:30 to 1:30, right? So effectively around 4 hour 15 minutes to 4 hour plus is what is how much of audit you are going to study every day, right? I want to give you one word of caution, when we begin with the class itself, that be careful, like when you start reading the subject and when you start understanding the auditing standards and ethics and all, you start loving the subject of audit. So all your hatred, all your fear, all your, phobia towards the subject of audit just vanishes and the book looks so interesting and you start, feeling like studying the subject or so. ओके, तो ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि शायद कोई स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ हैं जो जिन्हें हिंदी भी समझ आती है, तो मैं हिंदी में बोल सकती हूँ, मुझे बिल्कुल भी दिक्कत नहीं है। पर ऐसा है कि काफ़ी सारे स्टूडेंट्स जो है वो साउथ इंडिया से है, तो जिन्हें तमिल आती है और या तेलुगु आता है या कन्नड़ा या मलयालम, जो मुझे नहीं आता है, तो फिर ऐसा होता है कि उसके कारण फिर इंग्लिश एक ही मोड रह जाता है कम्युनिकेशन के लिए, राइट? सो दैट इज वाई लेटर ऑन आई हैव प्लान्स के ओके आई विल रिकॉर्ड माय क्लासेस इन हिंदी ऑल्सो। बट देखो, पेपर तो इंग्लिश में ही लिखना है ना, और जब कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में जाओगे, मैकेंसी में जॉब करोगे, बार्कलेज में जॉब करोगे, या कोई क्रेडिट स्विस में जॉब करोगे, डिलॉइट, EY, PwC, KPMG, ऐसे कंपनीज, बड़े बड़े फर्म्स में जाओगे, तो वहाँ इंग्लिश तो ठीक है, मतलब चाय पीते वक्त इंग्लिश में बात कर सकते हैं, बट रेस्ट तो वी हैव टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश, राइट? We need to have a good command over the language. Anyways, that's your call. But yes, right now, this class mainly I will be teaching in English, right, so that it is convenient and all the students are able to follow. कोई ऐसा जिनको हिंदी का प्रेफरेंस है वो ऐसे ज़्यादा कुछ इसमें प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगा. जैसे मैं बहुत बेसिक इंग्लिश जो स्टैंडर्ड्स में बताया गया है वो इंग्लिश बोलूँगी. मतलब ऐसे कोई शेक्सपियर या ऑक्सफोर्ड या ऐसा जो शशि थरूर जैसा इंग्लिश बोलते हैं वैसा तो मुझे आता भी नहीं है. तो आई नो दैट टाइप ऑफ इंग्लिश आई वोंट बी सेइंग. सो इट्स गोइंग टू बी वेरी simple, right? So you can just keep that in mind. So I hope you are all connected, and let's start with our discussion of our syllabus. So I'm so excited, you know, like it was like I was waiting for the preparation of the notes, and it's been like it's studying or preparing the new edition for audit was like equivalent to, you know, taking so many printouts and so many notes and culminating, and it's been really a very tedious process. Like just as how you prepare for the exams, I had to prepare for this new syllabus over there so that I could deliver the, yes, I'll try my best to deliver the best possible to all of you. Right, so let's begin with our discussion. Let me give you an outline of the syllabus regarding how many chapters are there and how do we go about the class. Okay, right, so as I already just mentioned to you, the name of our subject is now CA Final Advanced Auditing, and after that they have added the word assurance over there, right? So advanced auditing, because audit is not the only work that you do. There are a lot of other assurance services which are also provided. And then certainly we have our discussion on the professional ethics. Right, we have the discussion on the professional ethics. Right, probably you would be keen to see the cover page also of the book. Your books have already been dispatched. They are on the way. So they will be reaching to you shortly. So we have divided the book into two modules. So this is the module 1. You see the name of the subject over there, Advanced Auditing, Assurance and Professional Ethics. Right, the entire, this time I have decided that no black and white book or something, colorful. There is a reason why I have opted for the colorful book. I'll be telling you the, you know, how the content of the book has been laid out and all. Right, so that's the module 1, and then this is the module 2. Right, so you have two modules over there because one book becomes a big fat book, so that, you know, the binding and all comes out. So, and psychologically also it's better to study from a small book over there. Right, so like that we have the two modules over there, and in total we have the 19 chapters. Right, so in my earlier courses, you know, I used to keep my chapters little different and different in the context of as compared to what was there in the ICAI syllabus. Okay, content used to be the same, but little bit I used to, you know, jumble it up or put it as per the more, you know, in a different sequence over there. But now I thought, no, students have a lot of fascination and a comfort over there if it is in line with the ICAI material in the same sequence of the chapters over there. And then also at the same time, we have the extra coverage in the book and better presentation in the book. Okay, right, so we have 19 chapters, and out of the 19 chapters, chapter number 1 to chapter number 11 is regarding your standards. Right, so we have these standards. Can anybody guess कौन से standards है ये? किस चीज का standard बता रहा है वो यहाँ पे? About what standard are they talking about? Yes, inter you would have studied na kuch essay 200 overall objectives of the independent auditor and the conduct of an audit in accordance with the standards on auditing, then essay 210 and all of that, right? So yes, you are absolutely right. We are not talking over here about the accounting standards or the international financial reporting standards or any such accounting standards over there. We are talking about the auditing standards. But auditing standards में भी कैसा है पता है? You have something called as the engagement and quality control standards, right? So I hope you've taken out your notebooks and you have started writing with me. Textbooks are yet to reach to you, so for 1 or 2 days you'll have to manage just with your notebooks and the notes that I show to you, but no problem. Once the books reach to you, we'll match up with that. Okay, right, So the rather even I am waiting for a copy of the book, so it's just printed and it's on the way. So waiting for the good services of DTDC to reach us. Okay, right. So engagement and quality control standards. That is what has been issued by the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board of the ICAI, right? The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. I was just wondering if India name become Bharat, then it will become Institute of Chartered Accountants of Bharat. So no, don't know what is going to happen, but yeah, probabilities. You never know, right? So ICAI, the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board, has issued something called as the Engagement and Quality Control Standards, right? Who is going to be performing these engagements? These engagements are to be performed by the chartered accountant, right? These engagements, these services are to be provided by the chartered accountants. Okay, right. What type of engagements can a chartered accountant engage into, or what type of services they can provide? Here mainly they have mentioned the 4 types of engagement. Here mainly they have mentioned the 4 types of engagement. एक तो है audit, which is our main bread and butter. Like CA क्या करता है? तो audit करता है, भले वो tax audit रहे, internal audit रहे, stat audit रहे, या environment audit रहे, energy audit रहे. CA बोला तो audit है ना, या tax return, या something like that. Okay, right? So first we have the audit, then other type of engagement is the review. Then we have assurance engagements, which are other than audit and review. So that's called as the other assurance. And then we have something called as the related services, right? Then we have the related services, which is apart from an assurance engagement. Right. So for audit, as a CA, when you are doing an audit, you need to follow the SA, standards on auditing. When you are doing a review, you need to follow the SRE, the standards on review engagements. And engagements, so plural because there are 2. But SRE, that is the standards on the review engagement. Then when you are doing an assurance engagement other than audit or review, then you need to follow the SAE, that is the standards on the assurance engagement. And when you are providing certain related services, you need to follow the standards on related services. Right. So as a chartered accountant, there are 4 types of engagement that you can perform. You can either do an audit or a review, or an assurance engagement, which is other than audit or review, or you could be providing some related services. And depending upon the type of engagement that you are performing, accordingly, you need to follow the particular standards. Like you have the standards on auditing, standards on review engagement, standards on assurance engagement, and the standards on the related services. And whatever be the type of engagement that you are performing, whether you're doing an audit or a review or other assurance or a related service, whatever it be, you always have to maintain quality in the services of your firm. So we have a standard called as the SQC, that is Standard on Quality Control, right? ICAI has also come up with the exposure draft of SQM, that is Standard on Quality Management 1 and Standard on Quality Management 2, right? But right now these are only the exposure draft. They are yet to be issued by ICAI. They are yet to be becoming applicable for your exam. So there is a change as compared to the existing SQC. So as of now, you study the SQC, but be aware, keep a track of it, that at a later point of time, this SQC is going to become an SQM, Standard on Quality Management, right? They talk about the quality management instead of quality control now. And SQC, we have only one SQC, right? But SQM, they have issued 2 over there, SQM1 and SQM2. Okay, right. So these are the 5 types of the standards. So engagement and quality control standards का पूरा variety क्या है? SA, SRE, SAE, SRS and the SQC. Okay, right. How many standards on auditing have been issued? 38 standards on auditing, 2 standards on the review engagement, 3 standards on the assurance engagement, and 2 standards on the related services. And as I already mentioned to you, just 1 standard for the quality control. Right. So this is the breakup of the 46 standards, right? This is the breakup of the 46 standards which is applicable for your CA final exam. Right? In the old syllabus, only 36 standards used to be applicable. But now there are 10 standards which are applicable additionally to the new course. Right? Which are those 10 additional standards over there which were not there for the old course but there in the new course? So in the essay, it is essay 800, 805 and 810. What is it about? We'll study. We have a dedicated chapter number 8 wherein we discuss this. Right. Then we have SRS, Standard on Related Services, 4400 and 4410, for which we again have a separate chapter number 9. Right, we have a separate chapter for that. Then we have the SRE, Standards on Review Engagement, in which we have 2400 and 2410. Right, so review of interim financial information and review of, yes, a review of financial statements by the independent auditor and review of interim financial statement performed by the independent auditor, which is given in your chapter number 10. And then you have the SAE, that is the Standards on Assurance Engagement, 3400, 3402 and 3420, which is there in your chapter number 11. तो देखो मैंने तो क्या कर दिया है, चैप्टर नंबर 8, 9, 10, 11 का आपको कंटेंट बता दिया कि 8, 9, 10, 11 is having these 10 additional standards. Okay, why I'm very happy why when these standards have come? Because up to May 19 exams, up to May 2019 exams, these standards used to be applicable in CA final. So May 19 तक CA final में there used to be 46 standards which were applicable. Then they changed and then they removed these 10 standards. So I got so disappointed that time कि अरे कितना मजा आता था ये standards पढ़ाने में, and over a period of time you gain mastery over teaching a particular standard and so. And then I was like, oh my god, it's deleted. So but whatever. Then I stopped. Then I was not teaching it in my class. But now when I saw them again and then when I started referring to my old notes, it was like, old memories coming back. Okay, this is what I used to teach and this is the example and all. Right? So already to some extent I have a good understanding and mastery over these standards, right? Because I've already taught them previously. So that is one great addition to your syllabus. So, and now if you have heard in the new syllabus, 50 marks का weightage is to the auditing standards. मतलब अब auditing standards की जय हो. And it's like auditing standards are good. Auditing means engagement and quality control standards, all of them put together, are going to play a great role in your exams. Like earlier, the weightage for standards used to be like, 20 to 25, maybe on the higher side 30. But abhi to ekdam 50 marks is standards. So very important. ठीक है, तो chapter number 1 to 11 in your books is module 1, and module 1 is having the discussion on the standards. Is it clear to all of you? Standards hai, but along with these standards, there is a lot of other discussion which is incorporated, like say audit program, internal control, and then audit strategy, right? So it's a culmination of the auditing standards and the theory which is done in the ICI study material, same which I have done in our books also. Right, so let me further give you a more detailed outline of the module 1. In module 1, to begin with, इसमें कुछ बहुत interesting है, something called as chapter 0. तुम बोलोगे मैम ये कौन है? Chapter 0. Like chapter G01, it has the list of the 46 standards which we have to study. And then second, it has all the important terms related to audit, because you would have studied inter-audit long time back and then all of a sudden you need to refresh now. So kuch base, you need to have something to start with. So this I added on my own. So I didn't want to change the sequence of ICI chapters. So then I thought, but I want to add something. So then I put it as chapter 0 over there. ठीक है. फिर chapter number 1 onwards till chapter number 11, as I told you, it is the standards which we are discussing. 8, 9, 10, 11 chapter number, so I told you specifically कि उसमें क्या, what the discussion is there of the 800, 2000, 3000, 4000 series over there. And then apart from that, after 1, I have put a 1A. And a 1A is some miscellaneous standards. That is the name I have given over there. Right? So miscellaneous standards, because I saw in the CA final material they are not included, but you never know with ICAI regarding, you know, which question comes over there. Right? So some few pages I had to add, but I think some 6 standards I have added additionally over there, where no specific mention was there in the study material, but I wanted to make the book holistic, so I've included that. Okay, right? And then one more I want to mention is chapter 7A and 7B. Okay, 7B, very simple. It is regarding the CARO 2020 and the section 143 of the Companies Act 2013. Section 143 क्या है? Duties of the company auditor, rights and duties. तो यहाँ पे इन्होंने सिर्फ duties, बाकी 139, 140, 142, 143 चू, and all that is like not applicable for your exams. So from company audit only CARO and section 143, which is there in 7B, and in chapter 7A you have the entire 700 series. You might have heard, no? SA 700, 701, 705, 706, 710 and the 720. Right? So that is there in the 7A, 7B. So what has been done? 1, there is a chapter 0 which gives you the basic terms. Then after 1, there is 1A which has the miscellaneous standards, and 7 has been divided under 7A and 7B. Right? So I'm very excited to bring the, you know, module 1 in front of you after giving you a briefing regarding it. Right? So I've mentioned here that it's module 1 and the module 2, and then this is the chapter 0 and then 1, 1A, 2, 3, right? And if you check this, this is exactly matching with the contents or the syllabus which has been given by ICAI. Right? So it is same, but there is obviously a lot of addition and question bank and editing also being done over there. Okay, right? So that's your which chapter covers which standards, that has also been mentioned over there. Like I just told you about the 700 series, right? It is having these standards, and the second part is regarding duties of company auditor and CARO. ठीक है, फिर chapter 8, 9, 8 is the 800 series, 9 is the related services, 10 is the review, and 11 is the 3000 series over there, right? So that is your module 1. Okay, if you look into the new material of ICAI, what they have done, almost in every chapter they have put 3 varieties of question over there. एक तो डाला है, one तो what they have put is called as the test your understanding. Listen to me, इधर उधर नहीं, no distraction, है ना, focus, only Aarti ma'am, only audit is what you need to focus on. ठीक है, तो in the syllabus, in the study material of ICAI, they have put something called as the test your understanding. Then kuch ek in some chapters they put 2 or 3, but generally like one integrated case scenario, which is like a cakewalk, you know, after you study the chapter and you see it, it's very easy to solve those 4 or 5 MCQs given at the integrated case scenario. And then you have something called as test your knowledge, which is nothing but your theory questions which you've always been studying. Right, so MCQs and test your knowledge is your theory questions which always have been there, but test your understanding is more of the practical application part, wherein they actually, the questions are a little tricky. Okay, as now a real life situation has been given, and then how do you apply and how do you check it in the, so if you practice this well, no, that will prepare you to solve the case studies in the exam well. Right. So in our books also, if you check at the end of every chapter, like if I take you to chapter or this is 0, as I mentioned to you, right? And then after the chapter 0, we have the chapter 1, which is quality control. And in this, you see the entire SQC1 and SA220 in this chapter, right? So SQC1, SA220 is there in this chapter, and after this chapter ka theory gets over. I'll back to it again, don't worry. I just want to show you the last three parts. So see, this is test your understanding, wherein you have the case scenario based question. The question and the answer is given over there. Then after that, you have the integrated case scenario. So there's a beautiful situation given, and then you have the questions, the MCQs, and even the answers have been put over there. And then you have your test your knowledge. Okay, so test your knowledge, ICAI study material has like few questions, but abhi essay chapter 1 is SQC 1 and essay 220. So far, this was there in the old syllabus also. So far, whatever questions have come regarding SQC 1, SE 220 in the MTP, RTP suggested, all the reference material, all case studies of ICAI, all of those questions I've put over here. Right, so it's not only the study material ka test your knowledge which is over here. There is a lot of additional questions which have also been added along with the answers, and where it's a direct question, it also gives a reference, regarding whatever point you need to refer to. Right, so you see a huge, question bank over there. So if you check it with the study material of ICAI chapter 1 mein kitna questions hai wahan pe, and if you see it over here, how many questions are there, you'll be able to notice it on your own. Like if I open it over here, this is chapter 1 as per the study material of the, right, so I'm talking a lot about the study material because certainly that's your Bible, that's your Gita, Quran, or your, main content from where you're going to study the subject now. Okay, so test your knowledge, like you see over here, there's 5 questions there, in test your knowledge. And if you check in our book, how much knowledge of yours I'm testing over there, oh my God, ma'am will check your knowledge so much, 16 questions. Right, so you get it, how I have incorporated it over there. And then other, okay, I told you, I've decided no black and white, only color book, because I have done a lot of red markings in the book. Like Monday before the exam, revise karna hai. So, you have to study the entire subject and all. So I've done the marking of the important words for you over there. Right, so in black and white, this red marking won't come out. Right, so I read it line by line, identified, and then, put all the markings over there. So my analysis of the book, like had I been a student at your place, my analysis of the book would be that 1, it is entirely in line with the ISM, that is the Institute Study Material. Study Material has 19 chapters. This also has 19 chapters. Then in addition to that, if I want to use the book as a scanner, कि क्या क्या क्वेश्चंस आए हैं, कैसा अलग से स्कैनर का मोटा बुक लेने से अच्छा, दिस बुक ऑल्सो सर्व्स द पर्पस ऑफ योर स्कैनर बिकॉज all questions, like ethics, so you will fall down or drop down looking at the number of questions for the clauses over there, right? So, whatever ICAI questions are available till date have all been incorporated. So, it's an inbuilt scanner into the book. So someday if you want to use the book as a scanner also, it is possible for you. And then you also can use it as a, a compact or a crispy notes or highlight notes or something like that. So like if you read only the headings and the red words, तो हो गया. और अगर लगा कि नहीं इतना सा पढ़ के एग्जाम में I won't be able to write the answer, I should read the entire sentence, so read the entire sentence, right? So the it's an all-inclusive package which I have tried to put it over there, right? So all the important terms in all the chapters, not only in chapter 1 up to chapter number 19, the entire thing I have put it in that particular manner. Right? Obviously, students have a lot of concern regarding the number of pages of the book. Right? So, module 1 is having the 455 pages. Right? And module 2, the M2 is having the 385 pages. Right? So, 450, if I'm not wrong, it is, yes, 455 and 385 pages, right? So somewhere around 840 or something like pages coming up over there. So 840 pages may like 800 plus pages also, you can take it that way. 800 is, 400 is the theory part and 400 is the question bank part. So effectively, matlab, if you want to study only theory, if you don't study the test your understanding and integrated case scenario and test your knowledge, तो फिर 400 pages ही है और वो सारा पढ़ लिया तो और 400 pages है. तो ऐसा है ना? तो बहुत too many books and too much, no, इतना पढ़ लो, more than enough. and सुन लो, है ना, listen to whatever I say to you in the class. That should be more than enough. अरे हो ना तुम सब लोग वहाँ? You all are there, right? How do I come to know, yaar, that you all guys are over there? Yes, all of you there listening. Yes, trying. अरे पढ़ना है तुम्हें इस बुक से, so you have to get an idea regarding, you know, what all is there in the book and all of that. Yes, so I hope you've got a brief understanding and you would be looking forward to receive the book also. Okay, once you get the books, then you can start with your markings and all of that over there. Yes. So Pune, I'm not teaching face to face. This class is conducted like there is only a computer in front of me. There are no students in front of me. So the student has asked many times, are you teaching face to face in Pune also? So nahi, Pune माझं माहेर आहे, पण you know, I am just taking it from my home in Delhi right now. And I'll be taking my classes, like I have put up my setup at two places, at my home and at my, I've purchased taken an office place also. So at either of the two places, wherever possible, I would be taking the classes. Right, so it's not any live class anywhere which I'm taking. I have been traveling extensively, to tell you on a personal note, but now I have decided okay, probably I just want to take the classes from home. So you also be in the comforts of your home, library, study room or whatever, and I'll be always there for you, right in your computer or your mobile. है ना? So all of you listening, right? Anybody, any questions, anything which you want to ask to me? Right, so I see some of the names of my earlier students, which is always a pleasure, you know, to see those names over there. Right, my sincere apologies once again for the technical glitch which we had at the beginning. I'm very, very sorry for the trouble caused to all of you for that. Yes, so now fast track and marathon and all of that, like, you know, first hurdle or first challenge was like preparing the book. So now the first edition is released. Now next one is taking the regular class. Then one by one we go further with it. Right, so anybody, I'm looking forward to read some of your messages in the chat box in case if you guys want to mention anything. The flow of the class, yes, Arju, surely I'll be mentioning. तो पहले थोड़ा material के बारे में I mentioned, and now I'll be also telling you about the flow of the class. Today's introduction, no. So I just want to give you a grip or an outline of our discussion in the class. Yes. Somebody else asking, आवाज वगैरह ठीक है, वो आंसर दे देते हैं students. If I ask them, is the audio okay? So at least that much they reply, yes ma'am, we are able to hear you, and so. Yes. Nice. Okay. Right. Those of you on the encrypted ones, I hope. Oh yeah, that's nice. Book not received. आ जाएगा. Don't worry. वो मैंने बोला ना अभी. I have also not received the book. So even I am waiting. It's like waiting for DTDC services to be quick. Right. So you'll receive it. No worries about that. But rest, has it been okay for all of you? Whatever I told you about the module 1. Yes, I'll tell you about the module 2, then I'll tell you about the outline of our class, and then every day our timing is going to be 9 to 11:15, and then 11:30 to 1:30. So that's going to be 4 hours plus of class every day. So at least 40 days is minimum of what I have planned. Sundays, let's see, I'll keep it, not mention anything right now. But yeah, mostly Sundays we'll not have a class. But that's how. Keep a notebook in front of you. You need to keep some stationery in front of you. Like in terms of stationery, I want basically for you to have your notebook, like a 200 pages dedicated notebook to begin with. वो भर गया, वो fill हो गया, तो then one more book you'll have to purchase. Then I want you to buy, so one is notebook. Then after that, I want you to get some color pens, you know, red, green, blue, yellow, orange, pink, purple, lavender, jo bhi, whatever color pens you get, so that you can do the writing and make the charts when I make them in the class. And then maybe one or two highlighters, not much, but yeah, maybe you can get some, neon color which don't get faded, those type of highlighters. And then you can also get in some sticky notes, right? This is all voluntary. This is my suggestion to you, so that if you find some mnemonic I have given over there, some important point, important question, yeah, amendment, so you can just put a post-it or a page and a stapler, something like that. You can sticky note wherein it remains with you. And now, whatever book you get or whatever notebook you have to enlighten it. You have to bring it to life. You understand? No, audit, like it, because you'll just listen to the subject, you'll forget. You understand, you remember. But you have to remember, recall the concepts. So for that, you have to give life, to your book. Like you have to literally, infuse the life energy into the book. Like, you should be very familiar. Okay, what markings have you done? What have you been writing? What is the type of question which could come? What is the example given over there? So that you do. And keep writing with me when I'm teaching in the class. I keep on using these journal notes where I write. So I don't say that, ma'am, we want a copy or something. No, I want you to write on your own, because I also write every time. So you also write. Agar nahi hua, to anyways it is recorded class. So take a photograph of the chart or something that I've prepared. Later on, copy it down. So do ensure that. Okay. Right. So this is regarding the stationery or the writing part of the class. Then apart from that, please, unless and until I am not taking the class, you always have to be present, right? I won't be absent unless if required, like rare that I am absent or so. But yes, you always have to be present whenever I am present, right? Make a very conscious effort and arrangement in a manner that you are able to uninterruptedly, like in terms of what you say, 5G, 6G, 7G, 5G available hai, but jo bhi hai, matlab whatever data pack is required or whatever silence is required, make those arrangements which are required for you to dedicatedly attend the class. And come what may, right? Whether all the prime ministers come to our country or whether some wars happen or whatever happens, you make it a point that 9 to 1:30 you attend the class every day, right? No excuses at all. Just make it a discipline. Just take it as a goal for yourself. Like what then 100 days, every day 100 push-ups, like that next 40 days or 50 days or whatever days, every day or 4 hours of audit. So that type of a discipline. Don't pamper yourself. Arey nahi, aaj nahi, arey nahi, tomorrow, arey I'll see the backup. Kuch nahi. No, backup will be given to you, but nahi. Keep your laptop charged in case if the power goes, keep the backup ready, keep whatever, and a sitting posture. Don't, be very luxurious when you are attending the class or so. And so maintain discipline, just to be, 6 months or 8 months, and then you are a professional and a chartered accountant. So little bit of patience required. Okay, so be disciplined. Don't use your phone other than for the purpose of the class. Don't keep me on like a background music or a saregama karwa कि मैम अपनी बज रही है पीछे और you are busy talking to कि खाने में क्या है and what talking to somebody else or something. ऐसा नहीं करना है ना? तो थोड़ा डिसिप्लिन का ध्यान रखोगे तो क्लास का ज़्यादा बेनिफिट होगा. इफ यू टेक केयर ऑफ डिसिप्लिन यू विल गेट मोर बेनिफिट फ्रॉम द क्लास. ओके, राइट. सो एनीवेज, नाउ आई हैव टोल्ड यू only about the module 1. Now I need to tell you about the module 2, right? So I hope it's clear to everyone that in module 1 we have the standard, and in that we have chapter number 0 to 11. Right, module 2 is having the chapter number 12 to 19. Right, 12 to 19. Chapter number 12 is a brand new chapter in your syllabus, which is called as the digital auditing and assurance, right? A mind-blowing chapter over there, wherein they have talked about the next generation audit, and then talked about the machine learning, and then the cyber attack and the cyber risks and all of that, right? So a great chapter in line with the developments, like they've talked about artificial intelligence, blockchain, and robotic process automation, and augmented reality, virtual reality, right? So like a great understanding of the entire cyber, like how do you do the audit in the IT environment, right? So we have a brand new chapter over there, which is the digital auditing and assurance. Then we have chapter number 13, which is called as the group audits, right? So in the old syllabus, this chapter used to be called as the audit of the CFS. Does anybody know what is CFS? Any guess? CFS? Very easy question, no? Ma'am is asking. Right? Audit of? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Consolidated financial statements. Right? So now that chapter content is same to same, but only name has been changed from CFS to group audit. Right? So only the name has changed from CFS to group audit. Okay. Right. Then you have a chapter number 14, which again in institute study material, it is as one chapter, like special features of audit of banks and NBFCs, but I have divided it under 14A and 14B. 14A is regarding the audit of the banks and 14B is regarding the audit of the non-banks. Non-banks means non-banking financial companies, right? So NBFCs, that is the audit of the NBFC, right? So the CFS, that is group audit, and bank and NBFC, these were there in the old syllabus, and same thing is carried forward into your new syllabus also, right? Then after that we have a chapter number 15, which is an overview of the audit of the public sector undertakings, right? So public sector undertakings, again the chapter was there in the earlier one, and same carried forward over here, right? Then you have a chapter number 16, which is internal audit, right? So only internal audit. If you see in the old syllabus, like along with internal audit, there used to be something called as the management audit and the operational audit also. And just in case if you see some old RTP suggested, then you might see these questions, so you know that it's not applicable, right? So this management operational audit ko gaya, to usme abhi sirf internal audit, right? And that only we have a dedicated chapter on the internal audit. Then we have chapter number 17, which is regarding the due diligence, right? The investigations and the forensic accounting, right? Due diligence, investigation, and the forensic accounting. Earlier they used to call this as forensic audit. Then everywhere they replace the word audit with accounting. Right? So you have the forensic accounting. By the way, in chapter number 16, which is the internal audit, they've also given a brief understanding of the SIA, that is the standards on internal audit. And in forensic accounting, they've given a briefing of FAIS, that is the forensic accounting and investigation standards. Right? So they've given the titles and all of that over there. Right? So due diligence as it is, इन्वेस्टिगेशन में थोड़ा चेंज है एज कंपेयर टू दी ओल्ड वन, रादर जो कंपनीज एक्ट का पार्ट था इन्वेस्टिगेशन का, दैट दे से स्टडी इट इन योर सेल्फ पेस्ड लर्निंग मॉड्यूल, एंड फॉरेंसिक अकाउंटिंग, दैट इज द रिवैम्प इन द कंटेंट. It was there in the old syllabus, but a little bit of plus minus over there, right? So that's your chapter number 17. Then you have chapter number 18, which is the ESG and SDG assurance. Anybody, would you like to guess? ये कौन है? ESG and SDG. Let me see your general knowledge. Let me see how updated you are regarding what is happening in the real world. Right? Any guesses regarding what is ESG and SDG? Can you provide the... Okay, so no, the encrypted book, I'll put it on the software. So from that you can access it, right? So that should take care of it. Okay. Yes, anybody, any guess? क्या है ESG, SDG? कुछ तो होगा ना? It might be something, no? Yes, environment, social governance. You're giving all answers right. Very good. Right? ESG, that is the environment, social and governance, and SDG is the sustainable development goals. Right? The sustainable development goals, right? So ICAI has again issued the SAS. Matlab, can you believe it? They have issued something called as the SAS, social audit standards. Right? So lately I have taken a printout of the social audit standards and I'm reading those. You know, there's something called a social stock exchange. Well, the Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, so hey, but pata hai, social stock exchange bhi hai abhi. so, because you have to be, socially responsible also, right? So CSR तो था ही, but this is again a brand new chapter in your syllabus. तो दो ना एकदम खटाखट नए आए हैं, digital auditing and assurance, and then the ESG, SDG, and those 10 standards, they have come back. They were there up to May 19 and now they have come back into the syllabus. Yes, anybody, any guesses के last chapter कौन सा होगा? अभी मैंने तो तुम्हें सारे चैप्टर्स बता दिए. 1 to 11 है स्टैंडर्ड्स, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 बता दिया. 19 गेस कर लो. 19 guess it. Type no something. Yes. Yes. What would be? Any guess? Wild guess? Yes, very good answers. Do you remember the name of the subject? Subject का नाम याद है तो फिर guess कर सकते हो. है ना? I showed you, the cover page of the book. Where is it? है ना? Advanced Auditing, Assurance, and what's written over there? Right? What's written over there? Some, I think, miscellaneous topics. अरे रेड्डी जी, अगर मिसलेनियस टॉपिक्स पढ़ेंगे तो फिर एथिक्स कहाँ पढ़ेंगे फिर हम लोग, है ना? तो जो लास्ट चैप्टर है, जो बहुत ही बड़ा चैप्टर है, विच इज रिगार्डिंग द professional ethics and the liabilities of the auditor. Oh my God. So today you, at least all of you listening to me on YouTube and listening to me through the live classes over there, know that, okay, what are the chapters which are there in CA final audit, and knowledge is power. जब भी अपने को पता रहता है ना, तो हम लोग ऐसे एकदम पावरफुल हो जाते हैं. We like become powerful over there. Right. So professional ethics and the liabilities of the auditor. Okay. Right. So anyways, there are a lot of chapters which are now not there, like audit committee, corporate governance, company audit, audit of insurance company, peer review, quality review. So you will say, anyways, ma'am, नहीं है तो फिर हमें क्यों बता रहे हो? तो इसीलिए I'm not mentioning, I'm not writing about them. You can see my video on YouTube also, okay, what is the change in the old and new syllabus. So those of you who are interested will come to know through that. ठीक है? So this is the outline of the chapters, right? So these are the 19 chapters. If you check it in the study material of ICAI also, we have these 19 chapters over there. Okay, now coming to how we go about our class, right? So to go about our class, I will start with the, any guess? To begin with, we will start with the, yes, the last chapter first. That is, we do our beginning, initiation of our study of the subject with the chapter of the professional ethics and the liabilities of the auditor, right? Then after that, inevitably we will have to go to the chapter number 7, which is regarding the audit report, because you have to know the report, right, before you come to know about anything else, right? So no chapter 0. I'll start with professional ethics. Chapter 0, though, jaise the terms will come, I'll keep on telling you, regarding whatever are the terms and so. Okay, right. So chapter number 7, which is regarding our, what you say, the 700 series ka auditing standards. Coincidence na कि 700, chapter 7 में 700 series, right? So 700 series, and which also has our CARO and also has our section 143. Right, and then once we do our SA 700 and so, then we come to the other standards and the other chapters. So we see how it works, like we do the chapters and standards mixed and that particular manner. Right, so that's the outline. Ethics would probably take a week, a very, very important part of your syllabus, because in CA final audit paper, like 12 to 15 marks is the weightage of ethics. Like in the theory part of the paper, you see at least 3 questions of 4 marks each. Sometimes it could be of 5 marks also, but minimum, like we new syllabus ka, so we'll get to see the pattern when the MTP and all comes, but as of now what we understand is 12 marks is the weightage of the ethics in the theory part, right? You know, your paper is divided into two parts, right? 30 marks is for the MCQ and 70 marks of your paper is for the theory part, right? In the 30 marks of the MCQ, they have the integrated case scenarios, and those integrated case scenario, 2 integrated case scenarios where they ask you 5 questions, and then 10 general MCQs are over there, right? So you have some 20 questions, like 10 questions are 2 marks and 10 questions are 1 mark each, and then you have the 70 marks of the theory, right? So ये जो 70 marks theory है, in that 12 marks comes of ethics, and then you know, in the MCQ part of the paper also you can see like 2-3 marks of ethics over there, right? So that's 12 to 15 right marks. Sometimes it goes up to 20 also on the higher side. Just the stock market, now lower circuit and upper circuit, like sometimes it can go to 20 also. Some rare attempts it comes down to 10 also, but on an average, if you get to see it, it is in the range of 12 to 15 marks. Okay, right. So just look at it. No, like if you study the, what do you say, standards, the entire standards over there, that institute has clearly said that now 50 marks weightage to the auditing standards, and then you do the ethics, which is like, say, let me take it as 15 marks, right? So this itself covers the 65 marks of your paper. Right, that itself covers the 65 marks of your paper. But anyways, never have a thought in your mind regarding doing the selective study. One, because of the MCQ, from any nook and corner of the books, they ask the MCQ. That's one reason. And also, because of the MCQ, we cannot have an option of leaving anything an option. That is one reason. And the second is because of the AB format of the paper, the ABC format. Like, you know, you have question number 3, ABC, question number 4. I'm just giving example, ABC. Okay, question number 3A is, say, on bank audit. Right, say B is on the digital auditing and assurance, and say C is regarding the ethics. Example. And say here also you have a question regarding SA 700. Then you have a question regarding, say, the ESG, SDG. So SA 700, or say maybe you have a question on the PSUs, and then you have a question on the CARO. Right, what happens when you do selective preparations, or you want to study a few chapters and not study a few chapters or few questions or something like that? The problem is that if you want to write this ethics ka answer, so with this bank audit and digital auditing assurance answer also you'll have to write. Right, so keeping this in mind, you have ample amount of time with you. You have good, plan your studies in a very effective way right away. You understand that you want to cover, don't push, don't rush, or don't keep anything for the last moment over there. Okay, right. So that's the outline of the class. So we'll be starting with the module 2 first. Module 2 may be your last chapter hai, which is the professional ethics and the liabilities of the auditor. Right. So if you check it in the study material of ICAI, the chapter is going like into 172 pages there. Right. So, institute in the beginning of the chapters has also given some, some overview of the chapter, trying to create a real life situation over there. Right. So later on, you can read these also, because it just creates a situation why ethics is important. Like, that's the new thing they've done before every chapter. And very high-tech English, they have used that some words are like very, like people who've made the book are really having good English over there. That's what I can say. Right, so exhaustive code of ethics is in place that not only contains, so they create a case scenario type. And then if you check in our study material also, we have a big discussion on the ethics, a huge chapter over there, right? So that's the chapter number 19, right? So it starts from page number 251, and then at the, it's like, if last few pages are the notes, so those pages we may not count, but yeah, apart from that, it goes from 251 page number to 380, right? So that's a huge chapter over there. Again, I told you the reason why it is huge is because of the amount of the questions which are there. Like in ethics, we have something called as the clauses, and then you see this integrated case scenario. So ye sara dal ke, matlab, that's the reason why the the chapter size is big. And ethics ethics has always been a big content in your books. Okay, right. So, how does the first look of the book look to all of you? Like, I am so excited, to reveal and start teaching, and I try to make a lot of updates. So, as you study more from the book, I'm sure you guys will be able to give me more of your genuine feedback regarding the book and tell me how things can go better and so. But yes, I've tried to make it little more appealable to all the students. Right? So, shuru kare, all of you. Right? Professional ethics and liabilities of the auditor. So, they are basically, in old syllabus, we had a chapter called as liabilities of auditor under company law. वो तो हट गया, बस उसका नाम रह गया. But here they are talking about the liabilities of the auditor under the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Correct? Yes. All good? ऐसे एकदम okay होके are you sitting now? Yes? Notebook है सामने? How much have you written in your notebook so far? Nothing. Not written your name also? कुछ नहीं लिखा? Okay. Yes. Any thoughts in your mind? Any questions that you would like to ask? फिजिकल लॉस तो गया, अब नहीं एप्लीकेबल है न्यू कोर्स में. टैक्स ऑडिट, इट्स गॉन टू dt syllabus. So I'm glad that you guys know, okay, what is happening. Yes, just marking schemes, 1 page. Oh, you've written 1 page. Nice. Right, all of you from different parts of the country, yeah, all becoming chartered accountants and great people over there. Oh, very nice. Yes, 2 pages you've written. Great. YouTube. Yes, I'm waiting for all of you to come onto the encrypted classes. Any holidays for festivals, ma'am? So let's see when the festival comes that time. Right, so if festival comes and we give holiday, then we'll have to compensate on Sunday, na? तो वैसा करना पड़ेगा फिर. Okay, the backup of the classes will be available on daily basis. Yeah, so see, right now when I'm taking the class, I've put it for recording. Unless and until recording may no error happens, I can upload it, like after compressing the file, I can upload it by the end of the day. But sometimes some things might go wrong. So in that case, then, whatever is streamed, we need to download that and then process it. Or sometimes there's the 2 lectures which needs to be patched or something. So 1 or 2 days here or there. But generally, by the end of the day, it should be up and live. But why you're asking? I know you're going to attend entirely live only. I know you've committed to yourself. So no worries about it. Yes. Yes, YouTube students, have you gone on Magnet CA? So Magnet CA is another portal where you can see all the various faculties for all the different subjects, from where you can purchase your books and videos, and also Lahoti.com is there since quite some time, the website. So any of these 2 websites you can go and right, make your decision if you need to join the classes, and then yes, we have our discussion of the subject of audit. Yes. So it's nice, now it will be a routine for you. Okay, 9 o'clock class is starting. So accordingly, you plan your day, and then, things get very organized and blend once you are. You might be already having some experience. Koi kiya hoga, or is this your first live class? Everybody, FR, SFM, done. Yes. DT, IDT, just ensure if you are writing your exams in May, by Jan, mid-Jan, or maybe by, end of Jan maximum, sub classes are done, so that, Feb, Feb, March, April, like exhaustively, you will be able to, give your time for your studies. तो उस वक्त फिर ये क्लासेस का वगैरह नहीं चाहिए. अभी 14 आवर्स, 16 आवर्स, 10 आवर्स, 12 आवर पेन ड्राइव, पीडी, जीडी, फेस टू फेस जो करना है कर लो, बट मेक इट अ पॉइंट दैट done and dusted, so that when you study from 1st February, only you and your material, or in case if your attempt is in November, like, by July or something, just plan to finish your classes. Like I remember when I had to write my CA final, so in 2008, right? So I became chartered account. I wrote my exams in November 2008, and Jan 2009 the results came, right? So that's when I became a chartered accountant. So 2009, and it's been quite some time then, right? And I was like a feather, like an additional, like it was like bonus for me that I also got an all India rank 24, right? Always my plan or my study was like I want to clear, like clear the exams. But yes, I worked hard and somehow very disciplined, and I got a rank over there, right? So foundation I cleared in 2005, and then inter, that time it was P1, P2, entered in 2006, and then after that for 3 years I did my articleship in Deloitte, during which I got a lot of experience regarding, going to listed companies and getting an exposure to the corporate world and all of that. And Deloitte and these big fours over there, they have an audit software, just as the companies have the accounting software. These companies, they have the audit software, and whenever you do an audit, your audit documentation and all has to be done as per those files or the working papers which are there in the software, right? So that has always helped me to give a better delivery to the students of the auditing standards, right? Or for all chapters, because I've seen it happening in a big four, like, for listed company quarters and all. Like I've so many quarters, like June, September, December, March, June, September, December, March. You do the same thing again and again, and so you see the same documents and all. So that's why I have an interlinking or a practical insight into, the auditing standards, and that's why it's one of my very close to the heart type of an area for me. And over a period of time, obviously everything relating to the subject is my passion. So teaching is my passion. So since I finished my articleship in July 2009, that's 31st July 2009, and already in Jan 2009 I had cleared my exam. So since September 2009 I started teaching, right? So it's been years now, decade plus, 1.5 decade or something. So it's just whatever knowledge I have of my subject, I want to pass it all to all of you, and want you to, have the confidence for the preparation of the exams, write the exams very well, get amazing marks, get an all India rank, and do best in your life, right? So that's the purpose, that's my, the book Ikigai, it says you should have a purpose in life. Having a purpose in life is very important. Just like your purpose in life right now is to become a chartered accountant. So now I'm on the other side, already become. So अब क्या? अब तुम्हें chartered accountant बनाना, ये मेरा purpose है. So that's how it is. First live class. तो कैसे लग रहा है? First live class. Good, na? Am I too away from you? Thousands of kilometers away from you? No, I am right in your study cabin, just in front of you. I'm just like a few inches or, half a meter away from you. And not at all very far, right? So if I come on full screen, then I am more there. Right, create one group on WhatsApp or Telegram for any doubts or queries. Okay, so I'll do that, and I'll put my, team member manager also on the group, and in case if there is any technical queries, they can solve it, and if any other subject related query, they can pass it on to me and I will get it solved. जो हुकुम आका है ना, तो वैसा करते हैं. ठीक है, मस्त, all good. Let's start. Anytime anything regarding the speed, or you're not able to follow a topic or a concept, or any genuine concern, or anything negative also you want to tell, or whatever it is, you're giving me your time, which is very, very precious. So I don't want that anything wrong or and कुछ गलत हो जाए. So just let me know whatever changes or amendments I can do at my end, how much ever comfortable and good I can make it for you. I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I want each and every student to be satisfied after attending this class. तो वो मेरी इच्छा है, तो वो इच्छा पूरी करने के लिए तुम लोगों को मुझे सपोर्ट करना पड़ेगा, ऐसा है ना. Where to buy these books from? Please start giving PDF so that students can get idea on coverage, presentation, change with time. So I am change with time. Yeah. So I just, as I said, I'm waiting for the PDF of the hard copy of the book to be received by me. Then I will be discussing the book contents. I'll be making a video on that regarding how the book contents are there. So yes, thank you so much for the genuine suggestion over there, right? So that would be taken care of, and you can buy the books, as I said, from aartilahoti.com or magnetca.com. magnetca.com, I really like their tagline. It says CA new, कि तुम्हारे अंदर एक CA है, बस उसको इंस्टीट्यूट से स्टैंप लगा के लेना है, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है ना, ऐसे करने का. इतना हिंदी चलेगा ना? If I speak this much Hindi, my South India students, like anybody who doesn't know Hindi, like North, East, West, South, Middle India, everybody, all are mine only students. But like I've been traveling to Chennai and Kerala and so much. So it's very much a personal connect which I feel towards those students. और गुज्जू मारू तो मैं खुद ही मारू, मारवाड़ी हूँ, तो उनके साथ तो हमेशा ही कनेक्शन बनता है ना, और ऑल फुल ऑल इंडिया कनेक्शन. ठीक है, so let's come back. Generally students say that ma'am doesn't discuss anything apart from the class, so that's why I thought let me tell something about me and make you comfortable with the class, because once I get into the discussion of the subject, then nothing else to be discussed over there. Yes. You're from Andhra Pradesh, acha, right? So Andhra Pradesh, there I learned few words over there like kucho and then cheppo and then those words which after being over there for like it's such a technical language, I don't know, I couldn't, like Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, Marwadi, they look all similar, but Tamil, Telugu, to nahi, matlab, it's just so difficult to follow. It looks like encrypted language for us. It's a Java plus type, so that's how it's been. But yeah, I've had wonderful memories of Hyderabad also now, which is in Telangana. Okay, Andhra Pradesh, Guntur. I recently finished a marathon batch in Guntur also, so which is again Masterminds, one of the best academy for CA coaching. The atmosphere and the environment over there, like mind blowing. So I have been associated with them also. So ऐसा है. ठीक है. Good morning. Now some student is wishing me. Oh, good morning. ठीक है. Right. So let's start with our discussion on the Delhi. So someday you can we can have a discussion if you in a personal doubt solving session for those students who are from Delhi or NCR area, right? So that we can meet at some place and have a discussion or something like that, है ना? So because even I am in Delhi, है ना? तो ऐसा कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. I'm watching from Hyderabad. आप हैदराबाद में थे बहुत time. I used to have taken so many classes in Hyderabad. Okay. Right. So, but now I'm going to take class from home, and tomorrow, probably one of the days, I'll be taking the class from my new office also. So I'll show you the setup over there also. And so, let's start now. I'm very good. How are you? Students are asking. मैं एकदम मस्त हूँ, है ना? तुम भी मस्त रहो एकदम, है ना? इतना हिंदी चलेगा ना? कोई जो other parts of like those who don't follow Hindi, इतना okay ना? Okay, right. So let us begin with our discussion on the ethics, right? So Chartered Accountants Act, right? When you create a company, you need to get yourself registered under the Companies Act. You're governed by the Companies Act 2013, right? So when you create a company, when you form a company, you are governed by the Companies Act. Similarly, once you become a chartered accountant, you are governed by the provision of the Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Right? The Chartered Accountants Act 1949. Right? The CA Act 1949. Right? So the Chartered Accountants Act. So once you are a chartered accountant, you are bound by the provisions of the Chartered Accountants Act. Right? Why Chartered Accountants Act? Like, why do you need an act for a chartered accountant? Because you are taking a moral responsibility. The stakeholders, the shareholders, the creditors, the investors, the government are relying on your words. When CA says true and fair, it's trusted. कि सीए ने बोल दिया ना, बस बात खत्म है ना. सीए said true and fair, finish. Financial statements would be good. So this trust, this confidence, this reputation which is there of the CA is because they know that the chartered accountant is regulated by the provisions of the Chartered Accountants Act 1949, and in case if he does anything wrong, his membership could be cancelled by ICAI, or a COP, he could be told to surrender his COP, that is a certificate of practice by the ICAI. Right? Every profession has its ethics. Every profession, let it be doctor, let it be an engineer. Like a doctor, when he is doing a surgery, like say he's doing some surgery in the stomach or so when he is doing the surgery, he cannot forget any needle or knife or some instruments inside the stomach. Like later on they do the sonography and then they come to know, oh, ye seedha to andar hi reh gaya. So that's not right. Or you give the wrong prescription of medicines to the patient, or you give the wrong treatment. Ethically not right. You have to, they take the vow, the doctors, that we will put in our best, to save the life of the patients and so. Right? So just as the doctors are regulated by their respective ethics, similarly for the chartered accountant also, we have the Code of Ethics, which have been issued by the ICAI. Right? Code of Ethics 2020, right? They keep on revising the Code of Ethics time and again. Right. So one, you have something called as ethics. Ethics मतलब क्या? Moral value. कि cheating नहीं करने का, झूठ नहीं बोलने का, not to cheat anybody, not to say anything false, not to do wrong work, do your work properly. This is ethics. No? This is, they say no. Okay, if somebody robs 500 rupees from your wallet, you say, what ethics you have yaar? Kya ethics hai ya nahi? Or you one friend told you some information, told you, don't tell anyone. No, the moment it is told, don't tell anyone, then you become restless and you want to tell it to 10 people. So then you tell it. So ethically, galat hai. Ethically, like you are making your Ola bill was 400 rupees, but from office you claimed 800 rupees. Galat hai. This is not ethically right. Is it right? So ethics, and here ek to ethics hote hai, which are there for a human being. So every chartered accountant is a human being, and apart from the human being, being a human being, he is a chartered accountant. So that is why not only ethics, what he has to also follow is the professional ethics. Right? The CA, what he needs to follow is the professional ethics. Okay? Professional. And you are a professional. So what are the professional ethics for a chartered accountant? Right. So now, if I give you an outline of this chapter, right, we are starting our discussion on chapter number 19. We are starting with the last chapter first, which has a weightage of 12 to 15 marks in your exams. Right. So this chapter, I'll give you an outline of this chapter. Okay, what all we discuss in this chapter, and then we begin with. Right, so professional ethics, and I don't know why they added this liabilities of auditors, uska naam bada kar diya, but theek hai, no problem. And liabilities of the auditors. Okay, right, so now professional ethics, one, we are going to take an overview of the Code of Ethics. Right, so what are the parts in the Code of Ethics and all of that. Then I told you, obviously we are discussing the provisions of the CA Act, CA Chartered Accountants Act 1949. So obviously in an act there is always going to be these sections of the act, and then there are the schedules to the act. Like Companies Act, you have the Schedule 3. Which gives you the format and so, right? You have the schedules to the company law. Similarly, you have the schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act. Right, so schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act. Basically, there are two schedules. You have the first schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act, and you have the second schedule to the Chartered Accountants Act. Right, our main discussion, like our 80 5% of the discussion is going to be regarding these two schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act, the first schedule and the second schedule, where the 34 clauses of ethics have been given. What are these clauses and all of that? I'll come to it. And where the 34 clauses of ethics, okay, when chartered accountant CA will be guilty मतलब अपराधी गलत किया मतलब guilty गलत, that he has done something wrong and he's done some wrong behavior, his behavior was not proper, so he could either be guilty of the, they are talking about two types of misconduct, professional misconduct or the other misconduct. So other misconduct is also covered under the Chartered Accountants Act. What comes under other misconduct? I'll come to that. Right? So guilty of professional misconduct or the other misconduct. So generally when a case study comes in your exam, you have to write down the clause over there and in the given case, and then write down at the end of the answer the conclusion कि ये guilty है या नहीं है, whether this chartered accountant is guilty of professional misconduct or whether this chartered accountant is not guilty of the professional misconduct, right? So, or other misconduct, whatever it be, right? So that's the part regarding the schedule. And then before that, we have the sections. So sections, we don't discuss like all the 80-90 sections of the Chartered Accountants Act. We just discuss a few sections of the Chartered Accountants Act. Like, section 4, entry of name in the register. Okay, when is your name entered into the register of ICAI? Section 8, when you cannot become a member of ICAI, disabilities for membership. Then section 7, members to be known as chartered accountants, right? Then you also have the disciplinary mechanism. Section 27, which is regarding maintenance of branch offices. Section 25, companies not to engage in accountancy. And then section 24, penalty for falsely claiming to be a member. So one by one, like few sections of the Chartered Accountants Act we have to discuss. One important one is section 2.2, members who are deemed to be in practice. Right? So sometimes we also see a question coming in the exam from these sections. Right? So one or two questions, like sometimes they also come from the section, or one question from the section and 2-3 from the clauses or something like that. Right? So we need to discuss the few sections of the Chartered Accountants Act and the 34 clauses given under the two schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act. And before that, we have an overview. And in this overview, क्यों ethics है? And why there is ethics? In order to ensure the compliance with the fundamental principles, right? The fundamental principles. And fundamental principles can also be called as the ethical requirement. कि अगर तुम CA हो तो तुम्हारी क्या ethical requirement है? What all are the ethical requirement for a chartered accountant? Right? And obviously ethical requirement always, in addition to it, has the requirement regarding the independence. Right? So rather, when you see the title of an audit report, what does the title of the audit report say? That it is an, yes, what does the title of an audit report say? That it is that, yes, what is the title of the report? Audit report का title क्या होता है? Yes, it is the independent auditor's report, right? So even the title of the audit report, you're not just saying it's an audit report, you're saying that it's an independent auditor's report, right? So we have a huge discussion in the chapter of ethics regarding the independence of the auditor. Right? We have the discussion regarding the independence of the auditor. Yes, independent audit report. Amazing. Right. So one, we discussed the fundamental principles, which are also called as the ethical requirements. In addition to that, we also discussed the requirement of the independence. Maybe you might have heard it, or we'll discuss it again, that as a chartered accountant, you need to have not only the independence of the mind, but you also need to have the independence of the appearance, right? Not only the independence of the mind, but also the independence of the appearance is required, right? Then in ethics, there is a new concept called as NOCLAR. Again, just in May 23, it was the first time that they asked a question on NOCLAR in the exam. And so NOCLAR stands for the non-compliance, and NOC is the non-compliance with the L and R, that is the laws and regulations. right? Non-compliance with the laws and regulations. Okay, now chartered accountants, when in service or in practice, we'll see the applicability of NOCLAR when you are working in a company or when you're doing an audit of a company and you come to know some non-compliance with the laws regulation, you have to bring it to the attention of the management and also to the attention of the appropriate authority, that is the regulators and so. Right, so that's the new discussion which is there in ethics regarding the NOCLAR, and then you have some Council General Guidelines. Right, towards the end of the chapter, we have some discussion regarding the Council General Guidelines. Right, so more or less, I have told you all that we are going to discuss in the chapter of the ethics. Right, so overview, sections, the two schedules to the Chartered Accountants Act, the first schedule, second schedule, in which you have the 34 clauses, and then to begin with, it will be the fundamental principles, which are also called as the ethical requirement, including independence, then a discussion regarding the NOCLAR, which is the non-compliance with the laws and regulation, and we also have certain council guidelines which we need to counsel, the Council of ICAI. Right, we also have the council guidelines to be seen. Right, so if you see the ICAI website, right, you have the council of the ICAI over here, right, you have the council, right, so whenever we talk about council, this is the council of ICAI that we are talking about, right, so the Southern Council, Regional Council and all of that, right, so these are all the council members over there, right, so Western region and all of that. Okay, so the council of ICAI, right, these are elected by the members, right, so every 3 years the ICAI elections take place, and then from these council members they make the various committees, right, the standing and the non-standing committees. Like I told you, the auditing standards, they are issued by the Auditing and Assurance Standard Board, right, then ICAI has also constituted a Digital Accounting and Assurance Board, right, so this Digital Accounting and Assurance Board is giving a lot of information regarding the blockchain and all of that, right, so concept paper on embracing robotic process automation, right, then concept paper on blockchain technology, then the ABCD of technology, automation, and I told you there's something called as FAIS, Forensic Accounting and Investigation Standards, right? So this is, then there is also an ICI certification course on Forensic Accounting and Fraud Detection, which is a post-qualification course which can be done. Right, so these are the different committees of the ICAI, right? So many committees. Then sustainability reporting, right? We talked about a chapter, ESG and SDG. So ESG was what? The environment, social and the governance, and then SDG is the sustainable development goals, right? So for that, the ICAI has constituted the Sustainability Reporting Standard Board, right? And these are the different publications. And again, you can do the certificate course for BRSR, right? That is the business responsibility and the sustainability reporting over there. Okay, right, so you have the different publications. I think I mentioned to you about the social audit standards, right? I told you, like, just as you have audit standards, there's something issued by ICAI also called as the social audit standards, right? So do take out some time, to go through this wonderful website of ICAI and see the different, see the sustainable development goals, right? So all the different content, and we will also go through it at the respective places in our class, right? Whenever the point comes, at that time we go through the same. Okay, right. So with that, let's begin. So everybody, have you got an outline of the chapter? Is it clear regarding what all is going to be discussed? It's it's the biggest chapter, not one of the, it is the biggest chapter. So probably a week's time we take to complete this chapter, or something less than that, and 5 days at least. And then once we are done with the chapter, we come to the audit report, which is again very interesting. Okay, everyone? All good? So do you know the logo of ICAI, or the ICAI emblem, the logo which is there of ICAI, under that there is written, your Esha Supteshu Jagarti, your Esha Supteshu Jagarti, and there is an eagle which is there in the what do you say, in the logo of ICAI, right? So it says like how an eagle is very vigilant and very cautious and it can catch the prey. Similarly, you have to be very vigilant and catch out all the frauds and errors which are happening in the financial statements. And nowadays, anyways, becoming a auditor is not a easy job. It is just cannot be taken for granted, or what, I just have to sign a report saying true and fair. Aisa nahi hai. NFRA, it is making your life tedious, miserable over there. The National Financial Reporting Authority, the amount of cases, the amount of orders which have been passed against the chartered accountant is just increasing day by day. Right? So you have to give a lot of importance to audit hygiene, and you can't take it for granted. किया होगा, ऐसे कर लिया, वैसे कर लिया, नहीं चलेगा. And now 700 audits you do properly, one audit you don't do properly, and you are in trouble. And you are in trouble in terms of your reputation. Monetary loss, ठीक है. Emotional loss, what do you say? Reputation loss, all that is there. But main, it's your income stops because, and the reputation is gone. Right? And it's such a bad patch over there. So you have to be very careful. Your client should never like you. If your client starts liking you, that means they are very comfortable. That means they can, sugar-coated words, and they can convince you with whatever. They should always be scared of you. They should always be, oh my God, okay, auditor. Yes, auditor. थोड़ा उनको control में रखने का. You should not be in the control of the client. That's very important. You have to make them, you have to make the client uncomfortable. Uncomfortable asking them, in this provision, no, but I'm not understanding why you took this entry. No, I'm thinking I'll take an opinion of a lawyer. I thought, let me discuss it with the other senior partners of my firm. So when you create that type of an environment, even they are more particular. Even they are getting an assurance regarding the quality of work being done by chartered accountant. And then any bad play, any foul play done by anybody, it comes out. But if you are very lenient, like what happened in case of Satyam, 7,000 crore of fraud, like 5,000 crore of bogus cash was shown in their books. Why? Because auditor accepted photocopies of FD receipt. Photocopy accept kar liya. So it's not done intentionally, but it is intentionally, you don't want to do it wrong. But just because of the casual approach, okay, nothing happens, what happens, nothing will happen. So it's that risk-taking attitude which becomes the, problem over there. Right? So that when we are, okay, client will go to another auditor. No. So all of you be strong. All chartered accountants everywhere be strong. So they come to know, oh my God, I thought this CA would be better than that CA. They say, you all are the same. All of you are equally strict. All of you are equally the same. You understand? No, that later on we'll study in ethics, it cannot be that one CA can be replaced by another CA who is like, able to, able to agree with the views of the client and please the client. Right? So that that should not work out, right? So they say, oh God, any CA we go to, same documentation, same strictness, same attitude. Those who are not, all of them NFRA order coming. We'll see the NFRA website also later. Okay? A glitch in the app till 10, then YouTube link, ask the team to get it solved for me. Okay, so I'll just pass on your name. You can see the live lecture from tomorrow. Yeah, no problem. It will be taken care of. I'll just tell it. And my apologies for the inconvenience faced by you. Okay, right. So वैसे ना तो थोड़ा मतलब when now also an auditor is entering into you ना, once you become a chartered accountant, you become an auditor. I want you to become very dashing, very dynamic, very skillful, and very tactful auditors over there. Right? You need to get the gist of the profession. You need to be the superhero or your thinking has to be right in terms of doing an audit also. And for that, मतलब ये तो thinking, ये तो style of audit and all of that I will teach you. But for that, technically you have to be very strong. तो जैसे FR, DT, IDT, मतलब वहाँ पे एकदम मतलब जो IFRS है, Ind AS का है, कैसे accounting करना है, कैसे that has to be your strength. And that has to be your competency. Only then, if you only don't understand the accounting, how you will check it in audit, right? Not possible now. So for you to check it in audit, you have to be very strong with your fundamentals and your concepts. Okay. Right. So anyways, I was talking about the logo of ICAI, which says here, Esha Supteshu Jagarti, which means that when the world sleeps, we are awake. right? Or we awaken the world which is, just in the slumber or so, right? So we are the awakening, the people who awake everybody in the society or so, right? Because we are vigilant, we are cautious, right? So keeping this motto of ICAI in mind, they have laid down the fundamentals of the code of ethics, right? So first they discuss the term ethics over there. It's the moral principle that governs a person's behavior, right? And then you have the professional ethics, which talks about the personal, organizational, and the corporate standards of behavior expected for the professional. Like as a professional, like as simple as like you are working in a big four, say maybe let's take as an example, and you are wearing like, like a orange color or some, purple color, some shorts, capris over there, and then some t-shirt which has got all the floral print of different colors, and then you're wearing a hat over there, and then you're wearing some colorful goggles over there which has some crooked frame over there, and with that outfit you go to the office or you go to the client place. And like that you go to Goa, na, but aise to client ke yahan to you can't go like that, no? And you can't be going to a client place because that's not professional behavior. That's not at all your professional behavior. That's not how it is expected. Okay, so as simple as that, even that would be counted, that you're going to the client place playing loud music over there. I think nahi chalega. This is not professional behavior. Right? So what you need to have is the behavior expected for the professionals. Okay, right. And obviously why? Because they are engaged in building the trust, right, to a vast variety of users, whether it be shareholders, government, investors, which impose a public interest responsibility on their profession. Like, chartered accountant is the fellow who bridges the gap between the board of directors and the shareholders of the company. Right? Because the shareholders, they are the owners of the company, but the owners are not the managers or the runners of the company. They appoint the board of directors who run the company on behalf of the shareholders. So now the shareholders want to know, okay, whatever this board is doing, is it right or wrong? Are they, doing the correct things with our company? So now that is why the shareholders, they appoint the auditors, and then the auditor does the audit and say, shareholder, don't worry, your money is in safe hands, right? So it's the public interest, right? Since a public interest, like if you want to invest in any IPO, you want to invest in any shares, or you want to do some intraday put option call, karte rehte na aajkal, other income, 500 rupees, 300 rupees, you earn something like that over there, right? So even for that you study the technicals, right? You study the financials of the company and so, and obviously they have to be the audited financial statements. Okay, right? So code of ethics, right? The credibility of the chartered accountant, the whole foundation of the profession is the credibility, right? And the sole purpose of this, so the main ingredient, they say the main ingredient in the vegetable is salt. Like how much ever you put the other spices, if salt is not there, no taste. So similarly, chartered accountant ke liye main ingredient is independence. And what they say, independence is non-negotiable. ऑडिटर देख लो थोड़ा सा वोड़ा सा कुछ नहीं. इंडिपेंडेंट मतलब 100,000% independent. Right? So independence, and our institute's motto, that is your Esha Supteshu Jagarti, which means eternal vigilance, right? Awakening when the world is asleep. Right? So public interest and command respect, right? So that's the beginning over there. That gives an introduction regarding why ethics. Then after that, you have the overview of the code of ethics, right? So if you later on today, go through the study material of ICAI also, right, you'll find it that whatever I'm discussing with you over here, right, it is in line with the study material of ICAI, right? So I've put in huge amount of effort and time in preparing, right? So all of this, you see, I've just highlighted the contents and put it at the proper places over there. Okay, and eliminated what is repeat or not required as such. Okay, right. So now let's come to our discussion. So right now the focus is on module 2. So just give me a moment. Okay, right. So we have the the overview of the code of ethics, right? So what we have over now, the next discussion over there is regarding the overview of the code of ethics, right? So overview. So you have the entire code of ethics. I can also take you through the ESB website. Just give me a moment. Over here, if I open the ESBICAI, Ethical Standard Boards, ICAI, right? You have the code of ethics which have been issued by the ICAI, right? You have the code of ethics. Even though if you see ethical standard board over here, right, the ethical standard board of the ICAI, and they have issued the entire code of ethics over there, right? The entire publications, like if you see the code of ethics 2019 to 2020, right? And then the code of ethics volume 3 is all the case laws, regarding all the orders which have been passed against the chartered accountants, wherein they have been guilty of professional or other misconduct under the various, like just as you have your DTCA case laws and IDTCA case laws, like see, these are the case laws for the chartered accountants over there. Right, so under the different clauses when the chartered accountant has been guilty, right? So here they are talking about the overview of the code of ethics, which is, yes, so overview of the code of ethics, which has been divided under the 4 parts, right? So part 1 is talking about the conceptual framework, wherein we talk about the fundamental principles, right? So next I'm going to discuss with you the fundamental principles. What did I tell you? That fundamental principles, we can also refer to it as the ethical requirement, right? Fundamental principles, we can also refer to fundamental principles as the ethical requirements for a chartered accountant, right? So you have the fundamental principles, then you have the code of ethics for the professional accountant. So here the chartered accountant, they refer to him as the professional accountants not in practice. That means the professional accountants in service. Right? That means you're working in the education or not-for-profit sector or as an employee in any organization. Right? So that's the part 2 of the code of ethics. Right? Then you have the part 3 of the code of ethics, which is for the professional accountants in the public practice. Right? So those who have taken their COP, right, their certificate of practice from the ICAI, and who are the practicing chartered accountants. Right? So that's the part 3 of the code of is overview of the code of ethics. And then you have the last one over there, which is the part 4, which talks about the independence standards, right? Which talks about the independence standards, and this 4 is divided under 4A and the 4B, right? 4A is independence for the audit and review, and 4B is independence for other than audit and review. Right, so audit and review, what is the independence requirement when you're appointed to do an audit or a review, and what is the requirement when you're appointed for the other assurance engagement other than the audit or review. Right, so that's just an overview. Maybe somewhere in the MCQ they could ask that part 2 of the code talks about which of the following, and they can give you the options A, B, C, D over there. Right, so that's the overview of the code of ethics. Right, so part 1 gives you the fundamental principles. Part 2 is for the professional accountants in service. Right, so those who are CA, who is an employee, right, who is in job, who is doing a job, right? So that is the part 2. So if I'm a CA, I'm practicing also, and I'm also doing a job somewhere, so then it will be applicable to them also. It says chartered accountants who are in public practice but also working as an employee in any company, then to them dono applicable hoga, part 3B, part 2B. If you're only in service, then only part 2. If you're only in practice, then only part 3. But obviously, if you are in service and in practice, then part 2 and 3 both will be applicable. Whether CA in practice can also do a job, that we will see it in the clauses. Right? So clauses, 34 clauses of ethics, we'll see it over there. Okay, right. And then part 3 is professional accountants in the public practice. Right, so this is for the practicing chartered accountants, and then you have the part 4, which is regarding the independence standards, and I told you the 4 is divided under the 4A and the 4B, which is for the independence for audit and review, and independence for assurance engagement, which is other than audit and review. Right, so everybody one page, one by one, ऐसे एक करते सारे pages खत्म हो जाएंगे, है ना? One by one we'll finish with all the pages which are there in this chapter. Right, so you're understanding what is over here? Right, the overview of the code of ethics. Okay, right, now picking up the first point over there, which is regarding the fundamental principles, and then also coming to the discussion regarding the independence. Right, so now coming to the first point over there, which is regarding the fundamental principle. Okay, see, And these are the fundamental principles or ethical values which should be there in you. Right? What are those fundamental principles? First one, it says chartered accountant. You should be a person of integrity. Right? Integrity, a person who is one in thought, word, and action. Straightforward, honest, and sincere. Right? Cannot be bent, है ना? Just cannot be convinced to what you want him to say. नहीं होगा. Then integrity. Right. Then after integrity, the next fundamental principle is the requirement of the objectivity. So objective means what? Not to be subjective. And be objective. Your friend asked you, how is this dress? And you don't like it. So say, I don't like it. You don't say, oh, she'll feel bad if I say I don't like it. So let me say, oh, wow, it is looking so nice. Huh? From where you got, color is looking so good on you. It's a jhoot nahi bolega. Not to speak lies like this. Okay, so be objective. That you say, ma'am, friend will feel bad. Again, you'll say client will go, something, friend will go now, you'll say. So take a friend, personal life, you can flatter, give false praises over there. But client, you can't give false praise now. Arey, kitna mast true and fair financial statements you've prepared. Nahi. Not at all true and fair. Absolutely not true. Absolutely not fair. Can be. Right, so maintain your objectivity. Right, next ethical requirement is the PCDC. ये कौन है? PCDC, it is the professional competence and the due care. Right, so professionally, technically, ekdam razor sharp you are. Right, you know the provisions of the company law, you know the SEBI provisions, you know the provisions for a telecom company, for a manufacturing industry, for a real estate company. So technically, you are sharp and well, well accumulated with all the knowledge. Right, and then after that, due care. That means you don't do your work in a haphazard manner, in a inky-pinky manner, or, in a very unorganized manner. In a very skillful, careful manner, you perform your work. And so that's the professional competence and the due care. Then confidentiality. That means, I think you know this one, right? Confidentiality. Chup baithne ka. Chup. Keep quiet. Not to disclose the secrets of the client. A client is telling you their secrets for you to do the audit, because you are asking client, what is your future plan? What is your objective? You're trying to understand the entity and its environment. So they are giving you information to facilitate the conduct of the audit. They are not giving you information so that you go and tell everybody when their product is launching and what the price will be and what will be the features and what steps are they taking or who is leaving and who is joining. No. You have to maintain the confidentiality, not to disclose the secrets of the client unless required by law or taken the prior consent of the client. Right? And the last ethical requirement over there, or the fundamental principle, is that you need to maintain the professional behavior. Right? So professional behavior, right? So avoid any behavior which might bring the disrepute to the profession, which might bring the discredit to the profession. Right? So you need to avoid any such behavior. Right? So I hope all of you have noted down in your books a heading called as the fundamental principles. And then after that, these are the 5 fundamental principles. What are those? Integrity, then objectivity, then PCDC, that is professional competence and due care. Then you have to maintain the confidentiality, and you also need to have the professional behavior. Right? So integrity, objectivity, PCDC, confidentiality, and the professional behavior. Right? So these are the fundamental principles. Okay. More regarding the fundamental principles and regarding the requirement of independence, we continue with our discussion after the break. Right. So for those of you who are watching me on YouTube also, I will be stopping the streaming now. Then there is another stream which has been created. You need to log in into that stream at say after 10 minutes from now. Right. So just 10 minutes So 10 to 15 minutes break, and then after that we continue with the class, right? And those who are watching on the app, anyways, no problem for you, the lecture will be streamed on the app itself, right? So take a quick break, have some refreshments or so, or any book or something you need to bring it, and come back quickly so that we can do a further discussion on the ethics. Okay.